Alright then guys, please excuse my hat, I'm having a really bad hair day, not normal. But today I'm finally getting round to installing the two gauges down there, the water temp and the voltage. They're like the two simplest gauges to install for this car, probably any other car, and this is what you're going to need to install it. So got the water temperature sensor, a light or lamp or torch so you can see what you're doing, crimping tools, wire cutting tools, your wire. You don't have to get two different colours, but I'm going to use two to keep it simple. Your crimping tools, your spades, etc. And you can either use like a 12 volt outlet, which is probably like the easiest one, or you can go into your fuse box and use a piggyback off a 12 volt or 60 amp circuit. So today I'm going to be using piggybacks because I think it will look cleaner, and I'm going to crack on with this now. And also, when you're dealing with electrics in your car, you just want to make sure that your battery is disconnected so you don't mess anything up. Alright, so excuse the tight angle, but that's my fuse box, and there's quite a few places that I can get the power that I need from there. If you see this, it's on the back of Ford glove boxes. It tells you what amp the fuses there use. So I'm going to start with a 12 volt, and then the more gauges I add, the more amp that I'm going to start using. So it will literally just require swapping the piggyback from one to a higher one. Right, so if you've never seen an electrical piggyback before, this is what it looks like. I've already put the 5 amp fuse in, and then that goes into the original fuse spot, and then you add the fuse that was in its place in there as well. So I've got about two lengths of 40 to 50 centimeter wire. For the one is for the positive terminal on the water temperature, and then the others for this for the voltage gauge. But for the voltage gauge it requires two positives, so I'm just going to splice the wire once it's installed and then wrap a shorter bit around so that it gets a positive, rather than cutting out another full length and wasting my wire. So just getting the wires, probably twist them a little bit, put them inside of the piggyback. I hope it's called a piggyback because I'd sound like a proper twat if I've done this whole video and called them the wrong thing. So there we go. I'm just going to crimp it. There we go. So that should be secure for now. And now I can start plugging the gauges in and then wiring up the positives. Alright, so both of the dashes are in place now, and I've managed to run the wires through the back of the dash. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be wiring up separately. So my apologies, the red and the white from the voltmeter, they both have to be sent to a positive, and I'm going to sort this out I'm going to sort this one out separately because there's a few more wires. But the same things with the red and the black needs to be earthed somewhere, as well as this one, and this is just going to attach to one of the positives, which is going to be this one. So that's crimped into there. You could either use shrink wrap or crimps, but you could use both if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use these because they're a bit quicker to install and less chance of me setting fire to my car. And there we go. So I just checked over the instructions, and for the water temperature gauge it's literally the same. The red and the yellow both go to a positive, so I'm just going to do that again, the same method as that. So both of the gauges have been connected with their positives. All I have to do now is look behind the dash and try and find a ground that's already been used. Okay, maybe re-cramp this, but all I've got to do now is find a ground in place to put the negatives. Okay, so both of the gauges are in, the positives are both together. I've merged them into one ground and put it in like the most awkward position ever, but that should be okay for now. So in theory it should work. I'm just going to connect the battery and then it should light up, fingers crossed. Okay, so fingers crossed. I haven't tested this first, so you might be looking at a blank screen, so let's go. 3, 2, 1. Oh shit. Yes. Buzzing. So the voltage is on, clearly showing my battery is quite low, and the water temperature is showing my voltage because it hasn't got a sensor plugged into it yet. So once that's had the sensor in and it's been ground, that will work. So job done for now, but now it's time to go set up the sensor for the water temperature. Right, so this is the water temperature sensor. That's the sensor in the top end. That's it's from Ash Silicon Hoses. They're a store on eBay. They might have a website as well, but they are wicked. I buy quite a bit of stuff from them. So first I'm going to take this out, wrap it in Teflon tape. I don't know why, but that's what most people recommend. And with this silver little bolt here, that's just for ground. But if you look in my engine bay, there are loads. There's one there and one there. So I'm just gonna firstly, it's completely up to you. You can drain your radiator or you can just let the coolant go freely. Mine's pretty much empty, if you can see, so there's not going to be much leaking. So I'm just going to cut mine in half, well, from about there, and then once that's plumbed in, I'll start running the wires. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but you will need to run a wire through your firewall for the sensor inside. I didn't record myself doing it because it took me about 2.5 hours and I didn't want to embarrass myself. So yeah, sorry for that, but it will literally go on top of the alloy sensor and then run it all the way through into the green wire on the gauge. Go big or go home, bro. Yeah, so that didn't go to plan, but as long as it's cut, it's sound. Alright, so I've got these two clamps here. These are going to be going there and there, and then that's what's going to be holding the sensor in place. No way, man. So it turns out my sensor holder thing, Bob, is fucking too big, because I measured it from at the top, which is flared for fitting on top of the radiator, so I just measured it from there, but the wire actually shrinks. Now that I know that, I have to buy another sensor thing, so bit of a fucker, but you live and learn. Alright, so that's the water temperature sensor wire running from the engine bay, and then that's the one from the gauge there. So what I have to do now is crimp these together, and then as soon as the sensor comes, well, the sensor holder comes, then I can carry on. Alright guys, so I can't remember where I showed you up to last week, but basically the hose fitting that I brought did not fit at all as it was too big, but it's like 2 weeks later now and the new one's come. I've put the sensor in it already, but I'm going to take that out and put a bit of Teflon tape in between it. I don't know why, but that's what they say online, so yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. Okay, maybe fuck the Teflon tape. If I need it in the future, I've got it there, but yeah, it's a bit more annoying than I need it to be. Alright guys, so I'm not too sure if you can see because of the sun, but there we go. I've put the hose adapter in and I've used the clamps to tighten it up. There is a bit of a kink there. It's not huge and it will run and it will flow, but I will be cutting it down like 1/2 inch when I get time to. But other than that, that should be ready to start wiring up now. Okay, so this is the sensor wire. This will be the one that's attaching to the green wire in the back of the gauge. Alright, so please excuse me, I completely forgot to record me wiring up the ground, but it's literally self-explanatory. It's literally just grounding it to wherever you can possible and connecting it to the ground of the center. So I'm just going to top the coolant up, and then I'm going to turn it on and see if it will run and see if the gauges will work. So pretty much because the system is empty, I'm going to have to turn it on and then let it run a bit so that the fluid can get around the system, and then maybe top it up before it actually starts working. So I'm just going to turn it on. There we go, let's make sure we're in neutral. There we go, 3, 2, 1. I can hear the fluid going around as we speak. But you can see how the temperature's going up. Actually, I don't know if that's the voltage. I think that might be the voltage. I'm just going to let the fluid run for a bit and then top up the fluids when I need to. Right, so the voltage gauge is working mint. Got a good charge on it, as you can tell, because it's in the green, and the water temp is working. I'm going to have to top up the fluid because it is running through the system now, but it is working mint and I'm very happy with it. Right then guys, thank you for watching. If I helped you out in any way, shape or form, please feel free to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.